Brothers and sisters, this is not just about posters. These campaign materials at the airport are symptoms of a much deeper problem. Think about what an airport represents. It is a national asset that belongs to all Ugandans, regardless of their political affiliation. It is funded by taxpayer money, maintained through public resources, and it serves as the face of Uganda to the international community. For such a space to be monopolized by a single candidate's campaign materials raises fundamental questions about fairness, about the proper use of public resources, about the integrity of the electoral process itself. When international observers arrive in Uganda to monitor your elections, the very first thing they see is this overwhelming display of incumbency advantage. Before they even clear immigration, they are confronted with visual evidence that this contest is not being conducted on a level playing field. The message is clear. One candidate has access to state resources, to public infrastructure, to every avenue of publicity, while his opponents must struggle for every inch of visibility. Some defenders will argue that nothing prevents other candidates from putting up their own posters at the airport. But you and I both know this argument is dishonest. Access to such premium advertising space is not available to everyone equally. In a genuinely democratic system, either all candidates would have equal access to such public spaces, or no candidate would be permitted to use them for partisan political purposes. The billboards throughout Kampala and across Uganda tell a similar story. As you move through your daily lives, you are bombarded with images and messages from one source. The visual landscape of your country has been captured, occupied, dominated by a single political narrative. Meanwhile, Bobi Wine and other opposition candidates must resort to physical grassroots campaigns, moving from village to village, trying to reach voters through personal contact because they have been systematically denied access to mass media platforms and public spaces. And what happens when these opposition candidates attempt to conduct their ground campaigns? You have seen it yourselves. Police roadblocks materialize suddenly. Campaign events are disrupted. Candidates are arrested, detained, sometimes beaten. Their supporters are dispersed with tear gas and live ammunition. Rally venues that were booked and paid for are suddenly declared unavailable. This is the reality of opposition campaigning in Uganda today. I have witnessed Bobi Wine's campaigns in rural areas, in communities far from the capital. What I have seen is a young leader with genuine popular support, drawing massive crowds of enthusiastic citizens who are hungry for change, desperate for new leadership, willing to risk police harassment just to attend a political rally. These are not paid crowds, brothers and sisters. These are ordinary Ugandans, many of them young people who have never known any president other than Museveni, who are demanding their right to choose their own future. The contrast could not be more stark. On one side, you have a candidate who controls state resources, who can plaster his image across airports and billboards, who enjoys the protection of security forces, who has access to state media whenever he desires, who can campaign without fear. On the other side, you have candidates who must fight for every opportunity to communicate with voters, who face systematic obstruction, whose campaigns are treated as security